Hi, Jack. It is March.
Yes, it
It is
is.
your time.
Yes.
Um, I get excited about March because I like watching you get
Mhm.
excited
Oh,
about
thank you.
March and the tournament. And Mom and I have been trying to get you to make your predictions and
Yes.
record them because
Yes.
oftentimes you are right.
Yes. Very often, actually. Yes.
And so, for those of you all who are filling out your brackets, my man Jack has so much knowledge about these teams and about potential upsets. And so, if you want like a little hack before you fill out your brackets, this is the podcast for you. So,
Yeah.
what are you feeling like though?
Well,
This
it's the best month of the year. March is, I think college basketball has the best postseason in all of sports. Um, I watch it religiously. I mean, there'll be times where I can't fall asleep. It's 11:30, and I watch UC Irvine versus UC San Diego on, like, I don't know, ESPN 5, but it works, and I think that gives me a good kind of broad intel on all the teams. I do my research, and I also get lucky because there's luck involved in this and
sure.
picking and predictions and everything. But there's a lot of research that goes behind it, and I feel like I have a good shot of uh of getting a couple of these right.
Yeah, no, you listen to podcasts and takes from experts and you do your own research. So
Mhm.
you're well knowledge and well versed to break this down. So
Yes.
what I'm going to do, excuse me, is I'm going to pull up a screen. I'm going to share the screen so that we can look at the brackets and how Jackson would fill out brackets.
It's gonna be a little bit chalky, unfortunately. That's just how it has to be
Oh,
this year. We're not saying the upsets in the first, second round won't happen. They will, of course, but the one seeds this year are historically dominant. You have Auburn, who has one of the best resumes ever, 16 quad one wins. They regular season champions of one of the best conferences of all time. In the SEC, who had 14 teams in the tournament. That's a
yeah, that
record.
is crazy.
The previous record was 11. So I mean, the one seeds are very, very good.
So you weren't surprised that Auburn was number 1 overall versus Duke? Because I was a little surprised.
So the committee they have told us in the past that they don't factor in conference tournaments
Uh,
into the bracket. So so the way I think about it is the conference tournaments, they finished on Sunday, and selection Sunday is that same Sunday.
yeah.
But the bracket is finalized by like Friday night or
Uh,
Friday. So it's kind of those results, like Auburn losing on Saturday, those don't get factored in, or like Louisville making the conference championship. They obviously didn't get much respect from that, getting an 8 seed
yeah.
by the committee here.
Yeah.
But
So where do you want to start here? You want to start in the South?
yeah, let's start in the South. Let's start in the South with the
Because
number one overall seed. Yep.
you already said
I
Auburn,
mean,
that's
Auburn,
top.
that's chalk.
Yeah.
Louisville Creighton is a good matchup. This is being played in Lexington, Kentucky.
Hmm.
So it's in Rupp Arena. Louisville doesn't win in Rupp Arena, but it is in Kentucky.
Pretty much a
Uh,
home game.
it is pretty much a home game, but Creighton, that's a rough matchup for them. They have a really dominant big, Ryan Kalkbrenner, and they play drop coverage, one of the best defensive teams in the country. But I think Louisville has enough talent in their guards to tear up that drop coverage, hit a few threes, and win
I
that
would
game.
agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
yeah.
All right. So do you want to just go down the line or you want to start? You want
Now we can go down the line. Let's go
okay.
down the line.
All right. Michigan, UC San Diego.
This is
Is
this
this an
is
upset?
this is an upset for me.
Ah.
UC San Diego is a great defensive team. They're the best mid-major in the country this year.
Hmm.
I think they have 30 wins, maybe 30-4. They've been playing great defensively. They forced a lot of turnovers. Michigan's Achilles heel is turning the ball over. So I think it's a matchup made in
I
heaven
like
for
that.
UC San
I
Diego.
like that. All
I'll
right.
have them moving on.
Nice. I think this is a no-brainer, right? Yale versus Texas A&M. There's no way Ivy League or
Hey, I mean, there's always a chance to those guys at Yale. They got some talent over there, some sneaky athletic, first one in, last one out.
hmm.
Uh, you know, real talent there. And I think they don't pull off this upset, that doesn't take away from their remarkable season. Winning the Ivy regular season and the tournament,
Yeah.
still incredible. But I just don't think they'll have the athletes to deal with A&M. But spoiler alert: A&M does not win in the next round. So
Okay. All right. We're gonna put Texas A&M and
yep,
against maybe your future alma mater. Yeah,
yes,
we'll see.
maybe.
All right.
Here we go with
So
this. So
yes,
the elephant in the room. Let's address it. Should they have made the tournament? No.
UNC.
Yeah,
We're talking about
UNC.
UNC.
As a completely unbiased, just fan of college
No
basketball,
bias at
no
all.
bias at all.
Yeah.
We definitely don't have a flag of a certain team outside our house right now. But as an unbiased neutral watcher,
Flag, was that a play on words?
it may have been. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, all right, go
But
ahead.
yeah, no, they had no business making it. 1 and
Yeah.
12 in quad one. You could say a lot of those losses were to high quality teams, which they were, but you had 13 opportunities to show that you belong, and
Yeah.
you capitalized on one of them. And that's not good enough, especially when you have teams like Indiana and West Virginia,
Mhm.
also fighting for that spot with 4 and 6 quad one wins respectively. It's just um, it shows some signs of corruption
A
or
little
a
bias.
little bias
Yeah.
within the committee. I understand that the chairman was out the room when they were discussing his school.
So
What did he say?
the UNC AD is the chairman of the committee,
Yeah.
selection committee, and yeah, so yeah, a little inside
Yeah, it
baseball
feels
there.
funky. Doesn't
Yeah,
feel
it
it
doesn't
doesn't feel
feel
right at
feels
all.
icky,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
very much so.
So, but do you see them getting past San Diego
I
State?
think they play in the play-in tonight.
Mhm.
So by the time this comes out, I may look like an idiot. But we'll go with it. I
We're
I
picking
do
UNC
think
in this
they
game,
yeah,
or
I do
okay,
think UNC wins tonight against
but
San
do
Diego State.
okay, but do they
And I
beat Ole
think they
Miss?
beat Ole Miss in the
Oh,
next round. I think they're playing with house money now. That pressure of trying to make the tournament, trying to beat Duke, trying to earn their way in.
yeah.
They were gifted this spot. I think they can play their fast pace, run up and down, shoot a lot of threes style of basketball now.
Okay, they'll capitalize on this gift. Okay,
Yep.
so I don't know much about Liscum, but I would think this would be chalk. But what do you think?
So Iowa State is a pretty weak 3 seed now. They started
Mhm.
the season very strong, but one of their guards, Kashawn Gilbert, is hurt, and he's part of their starting five. And
Mhm.
when he was starting for that team, they were a top five team all of the first couple months of the season. But they slipped from second in the Big 12, kind of neck and neck with Houston,
Mhm.
all the way to fifth.
Mm.
Once in their injuries started piling up. So they're significantly weaker now without him. Their coach has come out and said that he will not be playing for the rest of the tournament. But I do
Mm.
still think they have enough talent to win this game.
Okay. All
I
right.
just don't know how far they'll advance
No
after
upset
that.
here. All right. These are always a little tight here. The Marquette versus New Mexico is 7 versus 10. What are you
Yeah,
thinking?
I think this is a battle of two great guards. You got Cam Jones and Marquette, and Donovan Dent at New Mexico.
Mhm.
They're two very high level players, probably future pros.
Do they
Um,
cancel each other out?
I think Marquette has more overall talent,
Okay.
so I think they will pull this game out.
Okay.
But that's gonna be a great
It's gonna
matchup.
be a
One that I'm
dogfight.
definitely looking forward to.
Nice.
7:25. Yeah, I will be watching that.
Yes.
Yes,
So we're gonna,
Michigan State.
yeah, okay.
Michigan
All
State.
right, no
Yep.
need to do that. Do you want to keep going? You want to go to the east, or we're going to finish this up? You want to finish it up?
Let's finish it up.
Okay.
Let's finish it up.
So Auburn, obviously, you got
I
them.
mean, yeah, they should win. They should
Okay.
win. The game is in Lexington, so it could turn into a Louisville home game. But
Hmm.
the SEC travels, their fans travel, so I doubt that would be the case.
Best conference in the league right
Yep,
now.
that's true.
All right.
UC San Diego, I have them winning
Wow.
this one too.
Nice. I love it. I love
I
it.
think they're
Okay.
gonna go on a deep run.
Ooh.
They've shown a lot of, this is only their fifth year in Division One. They just got moved up, and this is their first tournament eligible year. I think they're peaking. They built this program, and I think they're peaking at the right time.
Nice. Nice. All right. This is the end of UNC's run right
It is
here.
not.
Oh,
It is not.
no. Are you
Unfortunately,
kidding me?
it is not the end of the run.
What?
I think they're going to be able to capitalize on Iowa State's second best guard defender being out. I think they're going to be able to. Yeah, I
Just
know.
checking.
I know. I think they're going to be able to capitalize with the injuries Iowa State is facing. And I think Iowa State is going to want to press, and that's going to turn into a track meet, which Carolina is very comfortable in. And I
They
think
do
that
like to
fits
run.
into their play style.
Yeah.
So
Man, I'm gonna hold my nose and click this.
yeah,
Okay.
sorry,
All right.
sorry,
That's all
sorry.
right. So we got Michigan State. We think they can beat Marquette.
I think Michigan State is,
Le-
I would say, the best 2 seed in the
legit,
tournament.
legit. Okay.
Yeah, I really, yeah, they
So
have a
we
lot of
we're
talent.
gonna pick them to beat
Yes, let's just, yeah,
UNC.
let's end it
Please,
right here. Let's
please.
end the
Thank you.
misery, end the
Thank
pain.
you.
As a neutral fan of college
Neutral.
basketball with no fan affiliation,
None.
we got to end that.
So we've seen the chalk 1 and 2.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we are seeing a chalk 1 and 2.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll be the only one.
Okay.
Probably won't be, but
Okay.
yeah, and then we'll just leave it at that.
Leave it
We'll
at that
leave
for
it at
now.
the Elite Eight.
Let's go over to the East.
Let's
East
go to the
side.
East. Well, yeah, you can just click Duke all the way
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. We actually can't do that.
Oh, why can't we?
Well, because we got to build suspense. We can't
Okay.
just tell
All
them
right.
tell
All
them
right.
what we're
All
about to
right.
do
All right.
before we
So
do
we'll
it.
just
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that. How do I do this? Like
I actually have like, well, they'll win all those games.
okay. All right.
Okay.
We'll keep it
We'll
going.
keep it going now.
All right. Baylor
The second victim to the Duke Blue Devils
will
will
be
be
Baylor
the Baylor Bears. Yeah.
in a rematch
With
with
Jeremy Roach. I
yes.
think the committee is very narrative driven. I think it's no surprise that we have Jeremy Roach and possibly Caleb Love on our path to or on Duke's path
That's
to a Sweet 16 and a Final Four and a national championship. I think that's very intentional.
Wow.
I think Baylor has a lot of talent. They have that freshman VJ Edgecombe, Robert White, two freshman guards that are exceptional. And I think they have the talent to win this game.
Yeah.
It's just if it comes together, they're 19 and 14 with a group that talented. You should have a better record than that. So they have underperformed, but I think talent prevails.
That's why they're going to lose against Duke. Okay.
Talent prevails in March.
But we love Roach, man. We love what he did for
do.
Duke. So
yeah.
All right. So Oregon and Liberty. This is a
Dana
no-brainer.
Altman in March is elite. That's Oregon's head coach.
Okay.
He always finds a way to win games. So I got to go with them. But Liberty is a classic Cinderella. They shoot a very high volume of threes. Only 50%, over 50% of their shots come from three, and they hit over 40% of them. So it's like they have the formula to win this game. But
Maybe close.
Yeah, Dana Altman, he specializes in multiple defenses. So he'll run you in man, a 2-3, a 1-3-1, a 1-2-2. He switches it up. He's very fluid mid-game, and that hurts a lot of mid-major teams because they aren't used to facing Power 5 athletes or Power 4 athletes, and then facing all those different defenses in one game. It's just hard to prepare for.
Yeah, and plus they don't have much tournament experience.
Yeah, they don't. They
don't. So okay, so Caleb Love in Arizona versus Akron. I think
I love Akron. The Zips, they have the player of the year in their conference. He was the player of the year and the defensive player of the year. They love to run. They play up tempo. They shoot a lot of threes. They don't really guard too well. So I think they're a great 13 seed. And if they got matched up with any other 4 seed in the bracket, I would have faith in them winning. But that up and down, fast paced track meet style fits right into what Arizona wants to do.
And they're clicking pretty good.
Yeah, and they're good. They finished second in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Lost to Houston by I think 8 points in the championship.
That's respectable.
Yeah.
That's respectable.
BYU.
Okay, yeah.
BYU is the third best team in this region, in my opinion.
Wow. Why do you think they got ranked 6th?
They started weak in Big 12 play. This is their, I think, second year in the Big 12.
Okay.
But the last few years they've been playing, or the last few weeks they've been playing like a top 10 team. I think on KenPom they're top 15. So they're very underseeded.
They're very
but
legit.
they come in and they play a VCU team that's also underseeded, just won their conference championship, I believe. And BYU, they're very hot.
Okay.
Wisconsin is going to kill Montana.
Dominate Montana, not a question.
It's not even going to be close.
Let's
Montana
not even talk.
is a overseeded 14 seed,
and you like St. Mary's, don't you?
I think St. Mary's has a formula. Okay, so if we went to a nursing home and gave all of them basketballs and said, make teams and play a 5-on-5, that's how St. Mary's plays basketball.
Wow.
Very slow, very boring to watch, very old Virginia type basketball.
Mm.
And the kryptonite to that formula is athletes, is real high flying, power forward, power conference athletes. That's always why they get bounced. And I think a team like Vanderbilt that's battle tested in the SEC is going to have those athletes to upset
Okay.
St.
All right.
Mary's.
So we're calling an upset here.
We are.
Okay. Vanderbilt. All right.
The
And
health of Grant Nelson is going to be huge. He is their starting power forward. I think he's the second best player in their starting five. He's their best rebounder, and their secondary option when Mark Sears isn't going. And he's currently injured. I
mm,
think they'll have enough firepower, enough talent to win this first round game, but their
right.
future's in jeopardy with that injury.
Dude, so are you saying that they may
They will beat Vanderbilt.
okay. All
Yeah,
right. We're
yeah,
not
yeah.
even playing around
Unfortunately,
here.
yeah, they will.
Okay.
They
All
will.
right. We already got Duke here beating
Beating
Baylor.
Baylor, yeah.
So this is a great
That's a
matchup.
great game.
Wow. Mm.
I think, Caleb Love, you have to take the good with the bad with the player of that talent and
Hmm.
that usage rate. He offensively, he's gonna either shoot you to a win or shoot you out of a game.
Hmm.
But I think he's clicking. He's averaged, I think, 23 points in a Big 12 tournament. And brought them to second place, losing to Houston, which is, a great loss.
Respectable.
Yeah. So
So
I
we're picking
do think
Arizona.
Arizona will win this game. Yes.
Wow, Caleb
Yep.
Love's run
Yes,
continues.
it does.
It will end here, but we'll keep going.
I like
So
BYU here.
okay.
I think the Mormons are, they're clicking.
Okay.
They are. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna upset Wisconsin.
Nice, nice. All right. So we already know we've already beaten Arizona this year.
Yes.
We can do it again. Not a big deal.
We
We should
yeah.
be
I don't
able
know. I
to
don't
do
know
it
who
again.
like we is though. Like, cause we have no fan
No,
affiliation.
no,
Like
no,
none.
no,
We are
no.
complete
Just
unbiased viewers.
yes,
Yeah.
no, no,
Not we. Just the
no
Duke Blue
affiliation.
Devils.
Yes.
Um.
But you
And
think objectively they can beat
objectively,
Arizona
they beat
again
Arizona in November
as an
when
early?
Duke's freshmen were freshmen.
Yeah.
I think they've matured. I think
Arizona's gotten better
yeah,
too.
Arizona has
Yeah.
improved.
Yeah.
They haven't improved enough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they will be facing defeat here. I
Okay.
think Duke could go on a similar run to 2023 UConn and win their region and not lose it or not win a game by less than 10 points
Wow.
in this whole region.
Okay. All right. So who's going to be their opponent?
I like
Is it
BYU.
BYU
I like
again?
BYU. I think this is about the time that Grant Nelson will come back for
Wow.
Alabama.
Boy, you are taking the 6th seed
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
Okay.
I think they are the best 6 seed.
Okay.
And I think they match up well with Alabama. They're tall, they're big, they can shoot,
Mhm.
but they can also control the pace, which is very important when you play Alabama. You don't want it to become too much of a track meet if you let them dictate the pace,
Mhm.
and you don't have the depth to run and then sub and then run more. I mean, they're going to tear you apart, but I think BYU does.
So let me ask you this. We're not biased about Duke at all,
No.
but is this only with Cooper Flag?
Yeah, John Shire has said Cooper Flag will be back by Friday, or they're aiming to have him back by Friday, which
Okay.
is their first round game.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think they should play him. If they do just
really?
a little bit,
Yeah.
just nothing really
No,
serious.
no,
'Cause
like nothing more than 10 to 12 minutes,
that's a
nothing more
lot.
than
You don't think that's a lot?
I mean, I don't want him to jump into that first round game because you want him to be able to take advantage of this mid-major 16 seed that they're playing. Um, Not as good of athletes. He's not going to have to cut as hard, move as quickly. He's going to be able to, kind of get his what does mom say, sea legs
Yeah.
under him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Get the flow of
yeah, get
tournament.
the
This is first
flow.
tournament,
Yeah, he's going to be able to fill
NCAA.
out the rims. I think it would be very beneficial to play him. Not even close to maybe less than 10 minutes.
Yeah. I'm thinking that.
But I
But
would definitely play him, and he's a competitor. He's one of the most competitive freshmen I've ever seen.
yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah, he is a dog, and I don't think you want to sit him. I don't think he want to sit.
He does not want to sit.
No,
But I think I mean, we're going to be without the guy with the shoulder.
Malik Brown.
Malik Brown. We'll be without him,
Yeah,
but I
but
think
Pat Ngamba,
oh
he's
yeah.
stepped up a lot.
Yes.
He's been really good that whole ACC tournament. He stepped up. He didn't play his whole senior year of high school, and didn't play the first half of Duke season. But he's another freshman big we have.
Yeah,
He's
he's
very
coming on
talented.
strong,
Yeah,
very much so. We saw that in the ACC
yeah.
championship
Well,
game.
I guess we'll pick the other side too, the East bracket winner. I
Do
actually
you
have,
do you want to save this, or are we gonna pick who's going to the Final Four?
we can pick. We can pick.
So is it chalk?
I think it'll be Michigan State winning this game.
Oh,
I think Auburn peaked slightly too early. Peaked
oh,
earlier in the season.
okay.
I think Michigan State is playing well, and they call Izzo Mr. March for a
Yeah,
reason. He
yeah.
wins. He makes
Dude,
Final
that would,
Fours.
oh my goodness, that would be great. That would be great.
They don't call him Mr. April, so we'll leave it at that. He makes the Final Four.
Oh, hold on. Is this final? This is Final Four. Did we do this too
This
soon?
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
That's
okay,
the Final Four.
okay, okay. Gotcha. Yes. All right. Let's take it. Let's go West Side. Let's go Florida. That's chalk. Easy chalk. Right. And then
Right.
let's do 8 and 9. That's
8-9. That's UConn. That's Dan Hurley. I think the West region is the region of death. There's so much talent in this region. I think Gonzaga is the only better 8 seed than UConn. Colorado State is hot. They just won their conference. Memphis just won theirs.
Mm,
Maryland is a great team. Texas Tech is probably the best 3 seed. And then at the bottom, you have
St.
Bill
John's.
Self at Kansas. You have Calipari at Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
Patino and St. John's. That's elite coaching. Like this is an incredible region.
That's so messed up right there. I
And
just realized that.
yeah, they
Yeah.
did not reward Florida at all for
Mm,
their end of the season run.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hold
Yeah,
on.
it's a good region.
This is so we're picking UConn,
Yeah.
the champs, to make it past the first
Mhm.
round. We'll continue on.
Mhm.
What do you think, Memphis? Do you think Anthony's got them going here? You think they can beat Colorado State?
I don't. They're missing their starting point guard. They're missing Tyrese Hunter.
Okay.
He's leads the team in assists. He's a very good distributor, and he's out. He's going to be out for the whole tournament.
Oh,
And
snap.
also, Memphis will have the best player on the court against almost anyone they play. They have PJ Haggerty. He's leading the nation in points per game. But I don't think that's enough. I think Colorado
Colorado State
State,
is too
when
much
this
for
game
them.
opened up, the spread was Colorado State by 4.5.
Wow. Okay.
So, Vegas is always going to know more than we know. And I'll lean with them for this.
Now, Maryland, very good. They can
Grab 5.
they're gonna beat.
They will. They have the
Yes.
best nickname,
Grab
in
5.
college basketball. That's elite. Little throwback to the Fab Five, but their own
Grab
little twist on it.
5.
Yeah,
Wow.
they only run. I think they may run 6 deep, but they play their starting 5 80% of the game.
That's so
And
crazy.
they win. They win. They're led by freshman big Derek Queen. He's a great low post presence. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Jalil Okafor when he played
Oh,
at Duke.
okay.
He's really really talented.
Nice. That's high praise.
Yep.
Yeah, as a urologist, crab that didn't
Yeah.
resonate with me, but
yeah. Gosh. Yeah.
yeah, it means something totally
for him.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's move on. So Missouri versus Drake. Yo, I know that's your favorite rapper, but I think Missouri's gonna beat him, right?
I don't. I think
Oh
Missouri
no.
plays a very volatile style of basketball, almost like Alabama. They put a lot of points up, but they don't defend. And I think Drake, they haven't seen a lot of quad one opportunities this year,
Mhm.
but they've dominated the mid majors that they've played, and I think that will result in them, beating Missouri in this
Upset
game.
here. Upset here. You
So,
heard it here
yeah.
first.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
Drake.
unfortunate.
Man, all right. Well, let's keep it going. Texas Tech, UNC, Wilmington, right down the street. What do you
It's
think?
true. I think Texas Tech is the best 3 seed in the tournament.
Okay.
They're really talented. They finished second in the regular season in the Big 12. I think they'll win this game. I think UNC Wilmington, they weren't very impressive when I watched them in their conference championship. This region,
This right here.
this bubble right
This
here
right,
is
this little piece right here.
it's Hall of Fame coaches in Omaha. Bill Self, John Calipari,
Dude.
iconic matchup. This is a matchup you're used to seeing in the Final Four.
Yes.
And we get it in the first round. That's
Dude,
remarkable.
that's so bad though.
Yeah.
But
Hey, but it's gonna be entertaining.
yeah.
What I don't like is Calipari saying that they're going to return Boogie Flan. He's one of their guards. I think he's a sophomore, and he's an explosive offensive player. Doesn't defend very well, but when he was healthy on their roster, they went 0-5 in SEC play, in conference play.
So why don't you like them saying they're going
He's
to
coming. He's coming back. Yeah,
to
he's coming
play?
back to play. Like
Oh, he was
so
injured.
he
Okay.
was hurt.
Okay, gotcha.
He's returning now.
Gotcha. So you don't think that adds to
I don't think I think they would be better without him.
he may
And
mess up their
I
chemistry.
think he will, and unfortunately, I think that's why Kansas will win this game.
Okay.
I think Bill Self's coaching will prevail.
Got a lot of
You know,
exposure. They both have a lot of
Calipari hasn't been the greatest in March lately. A lot of first round upsets, but I think that will continue.
All right, and we definitely want to say
St.
St.
John's,
John's.
yes.
So
We can go up.
We can go up again.
Florida
for
UConn.
sure. The UConn's run ends right here.
Yes, it does. It does. But just if I was Florida, I would be livid. I mean, this is a bad draw. This is a rough region.
Yeah.
I think they do beat UConn because UConn can't defend at all. But getting that draw, as a 1 seed, as the hottest team in the country, that does suck. But they will move on to the Sweet 16.
Okay. Colorado State beatings, potentially upsetting Maryland.
I like Maryland in this game.
Okay.
I really do like the Crab Five.
Okay. You like saying that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Oh yeah. Okay. We're moving on to Drake, Texas Tech.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. I think Texas Tech wins this too. I think this is probably the chalkiest side of the bracket.
Okay. St. John's.
And St. John's will win.
Got the horses to beat. Yeah, Kansas.
If we go up to the top, I like Florida here too, just because of Maryland's lack of depth. Florida runs 9 deep, and they run you, and they guard. They play physical. They shoot well. They're a very well-rounded team, and I think the constant influx of fresh legs that Florida will have that Maryland won't. I think they could get ran out the gym. I think that game could get really ugly.
And they're hot.
Yeah, they're extremely hot.
Dude, that's a good match. So do you see St. John's or do you see Texas Tech coming out?
St. John's historically good defense. They're the best defense on Kim Palm right now, which is a site that marries kind of analytics, eye test, all of that, and gives you offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, luck ratings, things like that. St. John's is the best defense in the country. They're the 64th best offense in the country.
Yikes.
That's not a winning formula.
So defense does not win championships in this
defense
situation?
could get you to a Sweet 16, and I think that would be very admirable on Rick Pitino's part. Getting them here, this was a relevant program for a decade.
Wow, yeah.
Almost 2.
Yeah.
And I think bringing them here is incredible, but I don't quite think they'll have the scoring to match Texas Tech. I think that game could be in the low 60s.
Okay.
But I think Texas Tech will prevail there.
Wow.
We can move on
to
the Midwest.
Go to the Midwest. Yeah. Okay. So obviously Houston.
Yeah.
No
pick
brainer.
The 1 seeds.
Tough, but what do you think? Gonzaga?
We'll talk about this. Gonzaga is the most underseeded team of all time.
Wow. What should they be?
On Kim Palm, they're rated as the 9th best team in the country. In the country. I think they're the 5th. Let me pull it up so we can have some facts for you guys. Gonzaga is the 9th best offense in the country.
Wow.
And the 29th best defense. Those are championship numbers. Those are Final Four numbers at minimum. And they're an 8 seed.
That's
Mark Few
crazy.
is 2nd place behind Roy Williams at Carolina. He's made 9 Sweet 16s in a row.
That's incredible. So we're
getting this draw, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Clemson, McNeese State. They won 30 games last year.
Never heard of them.
Never. Before last year, I hadn't heard of them either. They got Will Wade as their coach. I think he came from LSU. And they have a good program over there. He's building something special. Hopefully, he doesn't leave. I think,
but not enough for Clemson. Not enough to beat Clemson.
Not enough to beat Clemson.
Okay.
I will say this: whoever wins that game, I will say the winner of that game, their coach is likely to take the Indiana job next year. So look out for either Will Wade or Brad Burnell, I think that's his name, to take that
Man,
Indiana
making
job.
predictions
Yeah,
on coaching
yeah.
positions. Okay. All
And
right. Let's
next
see.
game, High Point. Probably the second best mid-major in the tournament.
Wow.
What's unfortunate about High Point is that they have played zero high major teams all year. They have never
Not been
seen
tested.
Power Five athletes. They have never seen, dogs that Purdue has. They have the Big 12 Player of the Year. They have Braden Smith. He's elite talent, elite point guard. I think he averages over 6 assists, a little bit over 14 points a game. He's great. He was part of their championship team, our runner-up team last year. But Purdue can't defend. Their 2-point defense is in the 300ths of college basketball.
Yikes.
So I think this game could easily be in the 80s, 90s, very high scoring game.
Is it a toss-up more?
I think it is. I think it is a toss-up. And in March, madness prevails. So we're gonna go with
High Point
to win this game.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's huge.
That's huge.
That is
Yeah.
huge.
Hopefully we're
Okay.
right. Hopefully we're right.
But you know what? We always see crazy upsets like
We
this.
do. So I mean, it's better to get ahead of them and try to
Wow.
predict them.
That's good insight. That's good insight. So Illinois, this is an interesting team because
High variance,
Dude,
very high variance. I mean,
yes.
a certain team from Durham, North Carolina, played them in
Like blew the
Madison Square Garden, beat them by 43.
beat the brakes off of them.
I mean, what?
That's
Like,
crazy.
Like no legitimate team I've seen gets beat by 43 like that.
That was awful.
Unreal.
Yeah.
But also, they have wins over, I think, Michigan State. They have wins over Michigan. They have quality wins, so they've shown that they can bang with the big dogs and win these high level matchups. But when they lose, they lose
They
ugly,
lose bad.
ugly.
Yeah.
But I do think they'll win this first
So you
game.
think they'll beat whoever's coming out of the 11th
I'm
seed?
not sure who will win the Texas Xavier game.
Okay.
It's a good play-in, two very even teams. Part of the last four in. But I think Illinois will beat whoever they play there.
Okay, that's fair enough.
The Calipari curse has been lifted. I think Kentucky can finally make it out the first round. I don't think there'll be any more future accountants, beating them, hitting 10 threes.
Yeah.
So I think
they could beat Troy for sure.
Yes.
Okay, now this is intriguing, right? 7 and 10. Do you?
To be honest with you, I was gonna sit here and try to BS it a little bit. I know nothing about either of these teams, so we can go off straight vibes. We can go off
UCLA. They've got the history and all that. But
I like California's weather.
You like their weather?
Yeah, we can go with them.
They bow out a lot though. They don't make it too deep. But we'll see.
I know the Mountain West is they're always pretty hyped. At being a mid-major conference. During the season, but in the tournament, their teams do not fare well.
So, what in your ratings? What do you have at Utah State?
So UCLA, if I'm looking at Kim Palm right now,
yeah. Where are they?
UCLA is snap!
Can't even find them.
Who else are we looking for? Utah State.
Utah State. They may even be further. UCLA.
UCLA.
Yeah,
so they're 27th in the country right now on Kim Palm, and Utah State is not there.
Not close.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're 52nd.
Okay.
So I think
so that's safe.
Yeah, that's a safe guess.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna.
All right. Educated guess.
Yes, I personally saw Wofford beat Furman in the SoCon championship game. I was at that game.
Yes.
And
it's a good game.
It was a good game. Both teams shot over 45% from three. Wofford played better defense. That's why they won the game.
Yeah, but they're not beating Tennessee.
They just don't have the athletes. It won't happen. Once you see it on the screen, you'll realize, they do not have the high flyers.
Yeah, it's another league. Yeah. So do you want to start back up top here?
You can.
The Zags, they're not really a Cinderella team anymore. So
they're not really a Cinderella.
Do they get past Houston?
I do think Houston falls here.
You think they have a problem? I think Houston has a problem.
I think Houston has a problem. They're starting power forward, the Draymond Green of this Houston team, Juwan Roberts, he's probably their second best defender. He's a senior, fifth year senior. He's been in this Houston program. He's injured. He's hurt. He's getting reevaluated today. I think it's his knee.
So if he's
It's nothing
hurt,
serious.
okay,
Nothing serious like he'll miss the whole tournament.
right.
But it's serious enough to keep him out of a couple games. I think if he's not back by this Gonzaga game, they'll lose. If he is, they could pull it off. They could pull it off if he's not hurt or if he is hurt. If he's
Wow.
not in the game. But I do
So
like
your
Gonzaga
gut is
here.
telling you
My gut is
Gonzaga.
telling me, yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
It
huge.
is huge.
Wow. Okay. High Point. Do they make a run? Are they the Cinderella team? Do they beat Clemson?
No, Gonzaga is the Cinderella of this region.
Okay. Okay.
Not really. Can you even call Gonzaga a Cinderella?
No, you can't.
Had an 8 seed, maybe.
No.
Here.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think this is a incredible matchup. You have two explosive offenses. Neither team can guard. But one team has one player who can. Kentucky has Lamont Butler. He's probably the best perimeter defender in the country. He changes Kentucky altogether. He makes them a average defensive team, which if you pair that with their elite offense and elite coaching, that can be a Sweet 16 team right there. So I like Kentucky here in this matchup.
Okay. A little chalk there, but
Also like Tennessee here.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And Kentucky's run ins. That's a nice sort of reporting state.
Does it?
Does it?
Kentucky has played Tennessee twice this year. They're undefeated. They've beaten them twice. Kentucky beat Tennessee in Knoxville and in Lexington. Can you beat a team 3 times? Tell me that.
It's possible.
Somebody did it. Somebody did it. Somebody did it. But
it is possible.
It is possible.
Yes.
But you know,
ooh,
I don't think it happens here. I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
You worried me a little bit, man. Kentucky, yeah. I mean,
they have a shot. They have a shot because they've won twice before.
Yeah. I don't think they're beating them 3 times.
Yeah, I don't think Rick Barnes is going to get outcoached a 3rd time by Mark Pope. I think they'll be able to make the correct adjustments. And I trust Sakai Ziegler and Chaz Lanier.
All right.
There.
We got Tennessee making it on, and we
got make their second Elite 8.
Ooh,
no.
I
like Gonzaga here.
Gonzaga making the run.
Table, yep.
Wow.
I think beating Houston is going to be huge for their confidence.
Yeah, for sure.
And that would be the best team they play on the way to Tennessee in the Elite 8.
Okay, so we have Florida over here. Do we have them beating Texas Tech?
Oh, okay. Wait.
Hold on, no, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're talking about this.
Yeah, we're talking about this.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yes, I do like Florida there
in
that matchup. To beat Texas Tech, again, the hottest team in the country. I think St. John's would have been a significantly worse matchup for them. They would have been able to match some of that depth and that defensive intensity. When you're getting pressed, when you don't want to run as much, when you have to use so much effort to get the ball up and down the court. But I think they'll be able to handle Texas Tech and win that game.
All right. What about?
And on the other side here, I like Tennessee here. I think this is where Gonzaga's run ends.
It's okay.
Mark Few, he's a historically good coach. He's historically good in the regular season. He's made those 9 straight Sweet 16s, but he has no national championships to his name in all 9 of those years. He had an undefeated year. In 2021, they went 38-0 and one of the best offenses ever and got beat in the championship game.
Who beat them?
Baylor.
Dude, so crazy.
So I think that's the Final Four. That's what we'll see.
Man.
I think we have 2 representatives from one of the best conferences ever, and we have 2 historically good programs. We have Tom Izzo, Mr. March. But like I said, if my eyes serve me well, that says April 5th.
It does.
That's no longer March.
It's no longer March.
Not Mr. April. I think they get bounced right there.
All right.
I think
I can see that.
And I think they get beat.
Oh man. This is a good matchup, man.
Game.
And it's not going to be like it was a couple
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a couple years ago.
2 years ago, John Shire's first year coaching Duke, they made it to the 2nd round and played Tennessee and got punked.
Yes.
Punked.
Yes. They were not big.
From start to finish.
They got bounced around.
No heart. Kyle Filipowski was bleeding from his nose. Like, throwing his hands up, saying, "Coach, what do I do?" I mean, they were getting
It
thrown
was ugly.
around.
It
It was
was ugly.
bad.
You don't
But
see a repeat of that.
I don't think Cooper Flag is Kyle Filipowski. I think they have toughness. Their leader is tough.
Mhm.
Their leader is physical. They have dogs everywhere.
Everywhere, and they're deep.
And they're deep. They're deep. And
Dude.
I think they'll have the offensive firepower that Tennessee does not.
Let's call it. Let's call it. Duke and Florida, two
Duke
number
and
ones.
Florida. I think these are the
Mm.
two best teams in the country. Duke has been consistently elite. You know, they're one of the highest rated teams of all time. The second best offense and the fourth best defense in the country right now. The only team that has both categories in the top five in the
That's
nation.
huge.
The only team with both in the top 10 is Florida.
Mhm.
You know, the only team other than Duke.
Oh, that's a great matchup.
So these are the two most well-rounded teams in the country. And I think Duke has enough guard scoring
Mhm.
to neutralize the three-headed monster of Florida, Elijah Martin, Walter Clayton Jr., and the third one that I'm forgetting right now, who's also very, very good.
Now I don't know his name, but they say they have the best backcourt.
That's what I'm talking about. Those
Yeah.
three guards,
Yeah.
that's their backcourt,
Okay.
and they are elite. They score at a high level, they defend at a high level. But I think Duke has enough guard defenders to kind of slow them down.
Mhm.
And I think Duke will also have the advantage in the perimeter. And I think what makes this Duke team different is they're led with toughness and they're led with defense. You know, I think in the last 2 years,
Mhm.
Duke has been a very finesse team.
Mhm.
We're gonna outshoot you. We're not really gonna bang with you in the paint.
Mhm.
And we're gonna play a very glass cannon style of basketball. I don't think this is
It's
that.
not
This
that
is not
team.
that team.
No, this is not that
They will
team.
punch you in the mouth. They're relentless.
Yep.
They mimic the toughness of the SEC teams with the depth.
And I feel like they have that killer
And
instinct
they
too. Like
do.
they don't let teams get back in.
No,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
think they've been tested. They've been tested without the best player in the country. And I think if they didn't have Cooper Flag, or if they did have Cooper Flag for their ACC championship run, I don't know if this team would make it this far. But not having him and also winning
Mhm.
gives me so much more confidence because the surrounding pieces around Flag have had more responsibility put in their hands, and they've
Mhm.
shown they can execute.
I love it.
And now they won't have to just rely on Flag. You know, it's not like that was the team, but he was leading in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals,
Every category.
every category, and they still won without that guy.
Yeah, that's saying a
Um,
lot.
and
That's
so
saying
you
a
put
lot.
him back in the fold.
So who are you picking?
I'm picking Duke.
Oh, okay.
Picking
Okay.
Duke.
All right. Just to be
Yeah,
okay.
just as a neutral watcher of college
No bias.
basketball,
No
no
bias. Let's go.
bias at all.
So let's see. How many total points will be scored in the championship game? What are you thinking?
So I think
Any calculator?
if this game started now,
Mm-hmm.
I would say the over under would get put somewhere around 144-ish. I think you can comfortably say both teams will be in the 70s with their high flying offenses.
Okay.
Um,
I want to hear score because you've been very, very close before, but we'll total it up. But
yeah.
what's the final score?
I think this game could very easily go to overtime, go to an extra period. Teams will be very evenly matched. This will be Florida's. If they win the whole way here, they'll have 9 in a row. Duke will have 9 in a row. Also, both have more from the regular season in a row, so they're coming in very hot.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my final score prediction: both teams will get into the 70s, but Duke's superior defense will prevail, and I think they'll hold Florida. I think the final score will be 71-76.
Okay.
Yeah.
71 to 76. All right. So final tally is, let's see, plus 76. Do that math. 147.
Yeah, 147. Yep, exactly. Exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, 71 to
Check
76.
the buckets, make sure we get some free money.
What do we do? Check
Yeah,
this.
check the buckets, just in
Okay.
case,
Enter. Do we do both?
Mm,
Yeah. Okay.
just in case.
Just in
When
case.
it's perfect, we can
Yeah.
take some
So
credit.
we could submit this bracket.
Yes.
So All right, so you've heard it here first. This is Jack's take on the tournament this
It
year
is.
with expert analysis.
Yes.
And dude, I think you're right.
Yes.
I
Thank
think,
you.
yeah, I
Thank you.
think
Thank you for having me on, Dad. I really
yeah.
appreciate this. A little shameless plug. The channel is coming soon. We're gonna start a podcast of my own
Yes.
called the Jack of All Trades. It's gonna be kind of affiliated with my school, Christ School here in Asheville, North Carolina. It's an all boys boarding school, and I'm going to be interviewing, talking to, just having conversation with some of the lesser known faculty, like our nurses, our custodians, our lunch ladies and lunch men
Hmm.
that we have on campus. Just getting to know them and showing, telling their story and how they got to where they are now. And that's going to be running on my maybe Spotify, maybe YouTube channel. We don't know yet, but it will be Jack of All Trades.
Nice, nice.
Yes,
We cannot wait, Jack,
yes,
for that. And I love the fact that you're spotlighting some potentially unsung heroes on
yes,
campus. So
truly.
that's good.
Yep, they
That's good
deserve
stuff.
it. They deserve it. They
Awesome.
work hard.
Awesome.
Yes,
Well, thank you,
sir.
son.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
It was real.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we'll see if your predictions come true.